Hey, what's up everybody? It's Ben from Fitness Friend. Today I'm coming at you with one of my all-time favorite exercises, the push-up. It's one of the best chest exercises. It also involves lots of core, and it's a total body challenge. The push-up, frankly, is also an exercise that I see people doing wrong all the time. So my job today is to show you how to do it properly with good form cues and points on technique to make sure that you're getting the most out of the exercise while staying safe. So let's get it going. The first thing to remember about a push-up is that it's basically a moving or dynamic plank. So you have to line up your body such that you're totally straight and you keep that position the whole time. So let's get the setup down first. So what I usually do is kneel on the ground and we'll go from top to bottom here. So you want your hands just outside of shoulder width. That's the best way to do it. And then what you do next is kind of look between your feet to get your lower body set. You want to be on the balls of your feet with your feet exactly hip width. The next thing you got to do, guys, is kind of squeeze your glutes and also draw in your abs. That will kind of like lock out your pelvis to make sure you have that plank the whole time. One more thing is that you want your shoulder blades protracted. That means they're not coming together. They're kind of nice and wide to make sure your upper body is nice and locked out. So you can see the difference between this and this, right? You want to be nice and pushed up in that position. So with your hands a little wider than your shoulders, core drawn in, glutes tight, feet hip width. From here, you're going to do a push-up. So what that involves is going down nice and slow. Get as low as you can. Everyone will be a little different here. I like to try to touch my nose all the way to the ground to make sure I'm getting that nice full range of motion. But if that's a little too hard for you, I say elbows to at least 90 degrees. If you can't get that low, you probably got to do one of the regressions I'm about to show you. So that's basically it. Straight body, down nice and slow. Another thing you can think of is putting your mind in your chest and push from there. It's a good mind in your muscle exercise. If you think about pushing from your chest, you'll kind of activate those muscles a little more, and you'll actually be a little stronger. So if that push-up on your feet is a little too hard, let me show you a quick way to regress the exercise to make sure that you can still do it properly and get enough reps to make it worthwhile. So the way to do that is to do a kneeling push-up. So it's the same setup, except for, see how my butt's out? What you want to do is draw your hips forward, and you might have to back up your knees a little bit, to make sure that your body's nice and straight. From here, same thing. Down nice and low, push from your chest, breathe out when you push even, that's a good way to think about it, and see how many you can get from there. Another regression is doing it on your feet, but using something like a bench. That way you'll be working a little less against gravity. So same exact thing, this bench is about, a couple feet high. That's pretty good. And you can find something around the house that's a good height for you, a countertop maybe, or a table or something like that. So it's always the same form, but that's regression number 2. Now, if you can bang out like 30, 40 push-ups, it's time to make it more intense, I think. So what I brought to the show today is a Bosu ball, one of my favorite pieces of fitness equipment here. What this does is it creates a little instability into the equation. So that's going to make it a lot harder. So it's the same setup, right? Hands as wide as you can get them on there, feet hip width, and then down nice and low, push up. And see how it's wobbling a little bit? That's going to drop your reps more than you think, actually. It's also going to activate a little more core. One other way to make it a little harder on the Bosu is to do it on one foot. So what I do is look between my feet, or between my legs rather, one foot over the top of the other to make that axis of rotation smaller on the bottom. And you can see immediately how much harder it is and how much more unstable that Bosu becomes when you're on just one foot. So that's another progression. And I'll leave you guys with one more, and this one's tough. So this is called the plyo push-up, or plyometric push-up, which means you're gonna do a push-up, explode up, get your hands off the ground, have a nice soft landing, all the way down to the lower position. So, look something like this. It's tough, So you gotta launch yourself up as hard, as high as you can. Soft landings may be the most important part, and it's also really hard to keep your core engaged and body straight. What wants to happen is your back wants to arch on this one, so really keep those abs going. And that's my demonstration of the push-up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more to come. Take it easy.